Hey, what's up, you awesome dudes? Craze here, back with some more Division 2 stuff, and World Tier 5 is just around the corner. You probably already have all of the items that you need and went through all of the activities in the game to get ready for the new content, but now you might be lost not knowing what to do next, or maybe you're a new player looking for something else to do in between your fights. Well, if you're like me, you probably enjoy character customization. That's why in today's video I'm going to show you some of the best ways to farm for cosmetics in Division 2, and I'm going to show you some of the best routes that I was able to find and that rewarded me much more cosmetics than I could have hoped for by simply roaming around like a headless chicken. And before moving on, there's a couple of things that you need to keep in mind to ensure that your farming is as efficient as possible as well as fast as possible. First, absolutely make sure that you have the resupply buff, aka the one that highlights all of the containers around you, and you can do this by simply resupplying any control point on the map that you still have available. And yeah, it's pretty much going to work anywhere on the map, so you can resupply one of the control points from the other side of the map and then do the entire farming session on another side. The second one, while it's not really mandatory, it's highly useful as it will make sure that you don't miss any important containers, and that is of course to do this method at night. From here on, you'll be hunting for briefcases and backpacks, as these are the containers that can drop cosmetics. There's also going to be a lot of other supply caches, other crates on the way as well, so I suggest pretty much picking everything you see in sight. But yeah, these backpacks and the briefcases are the ones that are going to contain all of these sweet items. So what are the best ways to do this? Well, let's go on the map and start with one of my favorite areas, if not probably the best right now in the game, and that is of course right here in the west end, specifically these two neighborhoods over here. Like basically there's a lot of apartment blocks over here, a lot of very packed filled areas with briefcases and backpacks. The streets themselves aren't too wide and you don't need to travel too much from one backpack to another. So what I suggest you guys doing is to start from this control point over here. Obviously you need to have it liberated before doing that, and I also suggest you guys doing the resupply over here, and then pretty much start with this street right next to it and just go counterclockwise or clockwise, however you want to. I went in, for example, clockwise, and just went in on the main streets, going from car to car, from door to door, and I was able to find a ton of backpacks on the way as well as briefcases. I mean, there were areas pretty much filled to the brim with them. I wasn't going like more than 5 meters without finding another backpack that would reward me something. Of course, the drop chance is still rather low and you will need to farm this quite a lot, but in like 10 minutes of just farming this entire area, I was able to get at least 6 or 7 cosmetics just from this over here alone. And of course, you need to keep in mind that this area is rather big. I mean, you can see it on the map right now, but it's filled with streets. Like there's the main streets over here, the ones that go in between these two neighborhoods, and there's also some alleys, there's interiors you can go into. If you find the back alley, if you find an apartment building that you can enter into, go ahead and do so, because it will most often than not contain at least a couple of backpacks and or briefcases. But now that we're done with that, let's move over to the second one on the list, and that is right here in the Constitution Hall. And the Constitution Hall has a few of these blocks as well that you can go onto, and I'm specifically talking about the ones in north of this control point, and more specifically the one over here on the right side. So what I suggest you guys doing, again, you're probably going to have that buff turn off by the time you finish with the first one, is to go to this control point again at night, resupply it, and then take the street up north, and then just go on the right side over here and pretty much encircle it clockwise again, and even take this back alley over here, which will get you inside this place between these blocks, and you will also find quite a lot of backpacks over there as well. And these streets in general are also going to be filled with backpacks, but do keep in mind some of them are near cars, some of them are near buildings, some of them are near the fences, so try to go in like a zigzag to cover as much as possible, because that radius is only 20 meters. I'm not sure if the in-game indicator is correct, but I'm not sure if it feels like 20 meters. You need to get a little bit closer to them as well, so yeah, try to go in a zigzag and you should be fine. And this was like the first one. Of course, you can also take the second area, also in the Constitution Hall, is right by this control point. I did this control point, and these 4 or 5 blocks over here also contain a lot of stuff, specifically the streets, but also the inside areas as well. So again, these two areas are also very good. it, both in the Constitution Hall. So yeah, definitely a very good area. Last but not least, also a very important area is right here by the Lincoln Memorial, and this one won't contain any apartment buildings. It's actually an open area. Specifically, it's just, you know, the high road, a roundabout here, I believe it is. Anyway, what you want to do here is quite simple. Just start right here from the stronghold itself, from the mission area, and then you can go ahead either clockwise or counterclockwise on this main street over here in this circle. That is all you need to do. And here you need to pay attention to these buses. More often than not, they will contain either backpacks, either briefcases. Most of the time it will be right by them, so you will find mostly briefcases in this area. But also pay attention to the sidewalk. The sidewalk can also contain the backpacks. There's also some park over here, or some green area that also contains them. A lot of abandoned cars, a lot of trash on the ground, but more often than not you will find those backpacks on the ground as well. Just don't forget to come here without that buff on you to see them better. Once you're done with this entire circle, what you can do is take these two streets over here and even the park inside of them. Mostly I'm staying on the streets because I keep finding those backpacks, man. Like, all of those buses, all of those cars seem to have some backpacks or briefcases spawned next to them. Also the sidewalks, but for the most part the center of the street is what I'm doing. Now, of course, these are just 3 of the areas that I was able to find. There might be many more than this, and if you find anything better than this, go ahead and post it down below. And just doing these methods alone, you will get a ton of cosmetics. I was able to get, as I've said, as many as 8 in just 10 minutes or 20 minutes of farming, especially in the West End area. That was like just pretty much filled to the brim. But of course, as you may or may not know, these are on a cooldown. They reset daily, so if you already completed yours today, you can go ahead and do them tomorrow. But that is all that I have for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, a thumbs up would be super appreciated. Also, make sure to subscribe for more Division 2 content, and I'll see you guys next time. So peace out.